Hello, 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 and welcome back to Some Shit 20-somethings Want to Say.
Woohoo!
I'm Kylie.
I'm Brittany.
And today's episode, we're going to be talking about mental health. That silence, that explains it. Today's a hard-hitting episode, because obviously most people our age deal with mental health of some sort.
Yeah.
Whether it be situational depression, clinical depression,
It's a lot, and I'm trying to mentally brace myself because, I'm already mentally drained. I had therapy this morning.
This also is the second take of this episode that we've done today.
Yeah, because we're having a hard time with it, and
I kind of dropped the ball last time. I was talking and started dissociating.
Yay!
Right in the middle of my sentence and could not bring myself back. So we took a break. We got some Starbies. We each got a pink drink, and then we ate some lunch. And I think we're feeling better now.
A little bit, yeah. I've also taken plenty of medication because I have an upper respiratory infection.
Yeah, you sound better.
I am I'm very drugged up right now on Mucinex and amoxicillin and I didn't even take the allergy relief, but I need to do that.
Well,
I'll do that later. Before we get started, I just want to say trigger warning, because obviously today's episode is about mental health, and we all know
what comes with that.
Yeah, what comes with mental health, and that includes suicide, self-harm,
drug and alcohol abuse.
Yes.
All of the scary, sad parts of life that unfortunately we all deal with on a day-to-day.
Yeah. So just a trigger warning, if this is not
Your
a good
cup of tea.
Yeah, if this is not a good episode for you, we completely understand.
I also want to send out an olive branch and say, if this isn't your episode because you are struggling, please reach out. We are here, like we said last episode, making sure your friends are okay is such a big deal, and you are all our friends now.
Yes.
So we're here, and we would love to help and just talk, and we're both very good listeners.
And maybe we have tools we can give you that we use to help you with yours.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are struggling mentally, and a lot of it has to do with external situations that we have no control over. So we completely understand.
Yes.
So
if you are here for the party and you want to hear all about Brittany and I's mental health ride, and even a few listeners, we got some listeners in on this podcast, and you'll hear more from them. Kind of.
We're not going to name drop
for them. Yes.
We're not going to name drop. This will be
all
completely
anonymous.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah.
We're going to start off with some stats.
Yes.
Because I feel like it's important, that we have factual information included, because people need to think about this. People need to open their eyes, because mental health is actually way more serious than our society makes it out to be.
Not only that, I feel like numbers help just visualize how serious it actually is.
Right. So I'm just going to go through and state some statistics
that you found
on Johns Hopkins.
Yes.
Which everyone knows what Johns Hopkins is.
And if you don't,
it's a very prestige medical center where it's top of the top.
Yeah, serious.
So, okay, so the first statistic that we have today is approximately 26% of Americans aged 18 and older, which, to put in perspective for you, is 1 in 4 adults suffer from a diagnosable mental disorder. Which is
insane.
It's almost similar to the sexual assault.
Yeah. 1
in 4 women. That's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one we have is approximately 9.5% of American adults 18 and older suffer from a depressive illness, such as major depression, bipolar disorder, etc.
Yeah.
Another one we have is women are nearly twice as likely to suffer from major depression than men. Not saying that men don't suffer from that, but women are more likely.
Do you know what I also wonder? Because to take these statistics, you have to ask.
Yeah.
People have to come forth and tell you. I wonder how spot on to say these are, because I wonder if men just don't come forth and say
societal pressures
Yes.
and stuff like that. So we just want, we want men to feel included because we know you guys suffer just as much as women.
If not, I mean, this might sound insensitive, but if not more, because you're told, be a man.
Yeah.
Push those, you can't cry, you're a man.
Yeah. Man up.
Yeah.
Man up.
Oh, God, I hate those terms.
Which brings us to our next statistic, which is 4 times as many men than women commit suicide.
Yeah. Look at those numbers.
Yeah. However, women attempt suicide more than men. But it doesn't negate the fact that men commit suicide more than women.
Yeah.
And then suicide is actually one of the leading causes of death in people aged 15 to 24.
That doesn't shock me.
No, because a lot of, you're coming of age around these ages and you're going through pivotal life moments and
high school and getting on social media and really looking at models, and body image becomes an issue.
It's just
so many factors play into it, man.
Yeah. It can be taxing. It can be taxing. And then approximately 18% of people aged 18 to 54 have an anxiety disorder such as PTSD, panic disorder, OCD, social phobia, just separation anxiety.
Yeah.
Just all of these things.
Oh man, that number is...
That's a lot of people. It doesn't sound like a lot, but like that's a lot more people than we need to have.
Yeah. Not only that, because I didn't get asked to be on that statistic.
Right.
It's not 100%, like, that's just of people that they
That's a general
question.
Population.
Yeah.
That they studied.
Yeah. I mean, if you really think about it, every one of my friends deals with depression, anxiety, whether it is, clinical or situational, everybody deals with it.
Right. So, yeah. So, this next bit here, Kylie and I are just going to talk about our, diagnoses and just things of that nature, things we go through, our experiences, what we cope with, and then later on, we're going to talk about your guys' coping mechanisms.
Yes. We're also going to talk about some foods that affect anxiety and depression and make you act up. So we're going to start off with diagnoses. Okay, I'll go first. So I am diagnosed with, and I am going to be honest with you, I have not been into the doctor / psychiatrist, any of that since before I moved here.
Can't relate. I'm currently with a psychiatrist and a therapist and a doctor.
So keep in mind, I was diagnosed with all of this when I was younger. Brittany shaking her Starbucks.
So sorry.
No, she's not. So my diagnoses, as they stand, are major depressive disorder, which is also called clinical depression, complex PTSD, GAD, which is generalized anxiety disorder. Along with that, I have a dissociative disorder that kind of plays hand in hand. I have adult separation anxiety, severe social anxiety disorder, and panic disorder. Among whatever I'm not diagnosed with.
Right. Most of my diagnoses are similar to Kylie's. However, we do have 2 that are different. I also suffer with major depressive disorder, aka clinical depression. Mm-hmm. I was diagnosed with that at the age of 6. I was recently diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder at the age of 23. I also have complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I was diagnosed with that at the age of 12. I have GAD, general anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed with that at the age of 12, and I'm also an insomniac. And then, you know, I'm not diagnosed with dissociative disorder. However, it is a symptom, which we'll go more into detail about that.
It really does play hand in hand with
Yeah.
GAD. So
Yeah. So,
first of all, can I just say how jealous I am of you that you can remember the ages that you were diagnosed?
I don't know if that's a compliment or
No,
it's
it is
sad.
because my memory loss is so bad. Most of my childhood is, and this is, I guess we'll just go into symptoms real quick. Because memory loss is my hardest symptom.
It's also one of mine, but I think being diagnosed was such a traumatic experience for me, that's why I remember.
Most of my childhood is a blur. Literally, anything past a week for me is a blur. Besides major events.
Right.
If somebody is talking to me about it, and I'm like starting to visualize it again, I can kind of remember things. But if you ask me what I had for dinner last Wednesday,
Can't tell you.
something, I don't know.
Food.
If you ask me what my favorite color was when I was younger, I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's like even little things. Like if you ask me what I did when I woke up this morning, I don't know.
Right.
Excuse me. So memory loss is one of my hardest symptoms to deal with. And I very much so recently, I know that I've brought it up to you, and Nolan has heard a lot about it because I struggle with it. But I've began journaling every day, so I have been looking back, and it's been really helpful and nice that I can remember, hey, last Sunday we filmed and uploaded. You know, like, it's great. I love it. Another one of my symptoms are manic episodes. And I kind of, during my manic episodes, I just have random outbursts, and I'm just real sad. Like, I know for most people, you get sad after the manic episode. I'm sad all the way through, beginning, middle, and end. Which is, I don't know.
Bipolar depression.
Probably. But again, I am not self-diagnosing, but I'm not going to a doctor. So I have constant mood change. That's an everyday thing, especially during times that I'm dissociating. When I begin dissociating, I can be like in a great mood, and then I'm done, and I'm like the saddest I've ever been.
Right.
So mood changes is another one that I deal with. And I'm so sorry to my boyfriend because he deals with all of them.
It's just good that we have people who are so understanding, and
he has taken head on all of these symptoms.
right.
And just bit the bullet and completely helped me through them.
Just supportive. Like, I feel like it's a good thing to have a support like that.
Yeah, we definitely lucked out on our boyfriends. They're assholes. They are stubborn assholes, but genuinely the best things that have happened to us.
Yeah, they're so understanding, and they try their best to comfort us and be there and understand.
Yes.
So,
Speaking of boyfriends, Nolan had never really seen anyone dissociate before getting with me.
really.
From what he's told me, yeah. So he gets when we first got together, he got really confused and thought that I was mad at him when I was dissociating.
You tickled my leg.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was just sitting here, my bad. But he used to think that I was like upset when I would dissociate, and I'm like, I didn't even know I was doing it. I'm sorry. But he now is like, hey, honey, you want to come back? Hello. So
Johnny does the same thing.
Yeah.
But he had been with someone with the same
Yes.
diagnosis as I had before, so he kind of has that
has
tool.
that understanding.
Yeah, that he has that experience under his belt already.
Yes.
However, I'm a little more aggressive Which I'll explain that
Yeah.
after Kylie's done. I'll explain my symptoms.
Another thing that I think I don't even understand is my sensory issues. Like, if there are too many sounds, that's a big trigger for me, and I know that you deal with that as well.
Oh, yeah.
I can't, like, I get mad. I get angry.
Yeah.
Because I just can't focus.
You can't process. It's just too much to take in and process at one time.
Yes. This symptom is one of the hardest for me to talk about. And I know that you and I have had multiple conversations about it. My loss of sexual desire. It's not anything anyone has ever done. And it's not that I feel bad about myself, because I know that I am beautiful. I have curves. I'm an amazing woman. I just don't feel that way anymore. And it's hard. That I feel very bad for Nolan. Because a lot of the times he thinks it's his fault, and it's not. I love that man. I think that he is the most beautiful creature God put on this earth. But that's a really hard one.
See, I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I get hypersexual because I just feel...
The thing is, I used to be... I'm sorry, Mom, Dad, JJ, any family member that is listening right now.
Get over it. We have sex.
Well, that or just skip forward a few seconds. I don't know what to tell you. But I used to be so sexually driven. I loved it. And then probably in the last 3 or 4 years, it just kept declining to now where I just... It's more about pleasing Nolan than it is for my benefit. Mm-hmm. And I know that you deal with that on the opposite spectrum.
Yeah. My boyfriend is actually asexual. If you don't know what that means, it means he has no sexual desire. But that doesn't mean we don't have sex, because we do.
Yes.
But it's for my pleasure, strictly.
So can you, because I'm curious, can you just talk to me about how that makes you feel? Like, how did it initially make you feel that he never wanted to initiate? I mean, like, he did, but it wasn't often. How did that make you feel?
See, at first, I felt undesirable because in my past relationships, the
sex was everything.
Sex was everything in these relationships. So it was a very big adjustment for me to have to adjust for someone who's like, I'm not into that.
Right.
I just want you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Where did that come from?
Yeah, what is this? There are actually guys out here that are like this. Not saying women aren't like that, because
right.
I like women too. But just at first I felt undesirable. And I was like, oh my. Because
right.
I have been so conditioned to think that
men only want our bodies.
Right. But now, which... This is probably going to be TMI. Sorry, family and friends. I have never orgasmed so many times in a relationship before.
Oh my God.
But it's strictly for my pleasure and my pleasure only. It's not for him.
So does that make you, now understanding like what he goes through? Have we said his name on air? Are we allowed to?
Yeah.
Okay. Now understanding that what Johnny goes through, how does it make you feel? Like, are you just, it's your new norm?
It is my new norm. And I honestly enjoy it more.
When you get it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's not constantly like, oh, I gotta have sex again. It's more like, I get to have sex when I want it and
right.
not when they want it.
And it is strictly about you.
Yeah, strictly.
I hope, and, you know, I don't want to, I just hope that Nolan will understand one day that I love him, and I think he's perfect, and I want nothing more than to spend the rest of my life with him, and it's not his fault.
Right.
I just can't get over it in my brain that I don't want it.
Which there's nothing wrong with that, you know.
No, there's not. And I have grown to accept it. In my adult years that I've had under my belt,
Excuse me.
it is a little difficult. Just because I feel like I should be that young 22-year-old going out and doing things I'm going to regret, but I've really settled down and I'm the happiest I've ever been. And it's weird that I found that stability. Mm-hmm. And I don't need to rely on sex. But at the same time, want to. Like my brain, I want to have sex all the time, but I don't. So.
It makes the relationship more meaningful.
Yes.
In a way. At least in my opinion.
I agree.
I feel like there should be more than just the physical aspect of your relationship.
Exactly.
Which it's nice to know that we both have that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's great. Okay. So, moving on from my sex life, suicidal thoughts are obviously a symptom. You know.
That just comes with the depressive disorder.
Yes. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit one of these keys right now. I've been having suicidal tendencies since I was 11, if not prior, but I can remember 11 years old is where I dropped the ball and
fell out your lowest.
That's when I began self-harming, and that's ultimately when I attempted my first time. And I'm not going to get into my attempts because there aren't many of them. I think about it 24/7 though, and it's a hard one for me to talk about. I don't talk about them because then I think about them. And I've prided myself on that. So, more power to you because you're able to talk about them. I'm just not there yet. So yes, suicidal thoughts. All right. Public anxiety, which if we go back to my diagnoses, I have a lot to do with anxiety. Mm-hmm. And most of it stems with other people. So I have GAD, which is generalized anxiety disorder. So I have anxiety. That's basically what that means. We both have anxiety about things. Mm-hmm. There are a few different spectrums. I don't remember how many because they keep broadening, but I know for sure I have adult separation anxiety, which if you look at commonly separation anxiety happens with children. Mm-hmm. So when you're a child, you miss your parents, you don't want to be away from them. That's what that is. So as an adult, that is what it is, but it's not quite all of it. So for me, I have irrational thoughts on people I'm close to. So I have thoughts about bad things happening to them, and me not being there, it gives me very bad anxiety. That's one that I get a lot of shit for that one. Because
which you shouldn't.
Right, but I'll grow up. Come on. I'm just leaving for work. Come on. It's fine.
Again, that just proves the point that society really just brushes mental health off when, it should be taken very seriously for everybody.
Yeah.
Because, if we had more societal support, I feel like mental illness would not be as serious as it is.
I also feel like suicide rates would decline drastically.
Yeah.
Because they have that support outlet.
Right.
So yeah, that one's hard because it's weird. We're talking about this all again when we've already talked about it today. But earlier, Brittany mentioned when we were younger and you used to sleep over.
Yeah. Kylie would... I would get out of bed to go use the bathroom as soon as I woke up, and Kylie would roll over and be like, "Where are you going?" And I would just, reassure her and be like, "I will be right back. I just have to use the bathroom."
And in that time span of you going to the bathroom, I would keep myself awake just to make sure that you made it back from the bathroom, literally 4 feet from my bedroom.
Yeah, it wasn't even...
I get a lot of like, don't be a baby, you're okay, things of that nature. And I assure you guys, I'm not a baby. Like, I really care about people that I'm close with, and it's almost unhealthy to an extent, I guess you could say. Like, I just want to make sure that people are okay. Um, Along with that, I also have severe social anxiety disorder, which kind of explains it. I am terrified of public people, crowds. I can't even. Well, actually, I've gotten a lot better at it as I've aged. I can check out by myself now. I can go through the drive-through by myself. I can go to a clothing shop. I still have to have somebody with me to go in, but I can browse through the clothes by myself now, which is a big step. It used to just be socks. I could go and look at socks by myself because there wasn't really a size on socks. You know, like, everything about being in public gives me anxiety. I also have a panic disorder, which,
I have witnessed that.
yeah, that it. My panic attacks consist of like my body.
Well, it almost looks like you're going into a seizure.
That's what most people that have seen me do it have.
Because your body just stiffens and you kind of just shake.
Like, compulse.
Yeah.
I don't remember panic attacks ever. The only one that I remember when we were at your adopted dad's house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were in the garage.
We were in the garage.
Yeah, that was rough. And that's another one of my symptoms is panic attacks and sore muscles from my panic attacks. Yeah. I also have heart palpitations, angry outbursts, and loss of interest. Those are pretty much my symptoms. I don't want to bore you guys by continuing, but that's what you're here for, is to listen to me talk. So, no, I'm just kidding. But that's pretty much the symptoms that I go through every day. Maybe not panic attacks every day, but most often I do have
at least once a week
form of panic attacks.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Brittany, you want to tell me and the audience about your symptoms?
Oh, okay.
Also, really quick, I'm proud of you.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
I'm very proud of you for coming on this podcast. And
thank you.
Opening up for Brittany is something really hard.
It is.
And this has been the best thing, is watching her step out. We're 2 episodes in, and I'm so fucking proud of you.
Thank you.
All right, tell me about your symptoms, girlfriend.
All right. As you guys know, I am diagnosed with bipolar, so obviously with bipolar comes manic episodes. My manic episodes consist of immense amount of energy. Yep. Like, I constantly have to be doing something, and I just go until I literally cannot go anymore.
Now, I have a question, because later you bring up your pacing and your wiggling hands. Is
Yes.
that because of...
No, that is sensory.
Okay.
That has to do with my sensory.
Gotcha.
Along with my manic episodes, I impulsively buy stuff. Like, I don't even care if I'm going to be able to pay my bills or not. I just spend money. I don't care. Which I have gotten a lot better with.
You've gotten much better with.
Because now I have, rent to pay. I have a car payment. I got a phone bill.
Insurance.
Insurance. Just, I got responsibilities, and I'm managing my impulsiveness a lot better. Also with my manic episodes, my intrusive thoughts are more apparent. Such as, you could just pack up and leave. You can just go start a new life somewhere. Or, what would happen if I were just to swerve my car in the opposite lane right now with oncoming traffic coming towards me?
Right, and we joke about you being a flight risk all the time.
Yeah.
It's a serious thing. Like, people
Yeah.
don't understand when we're joking about it. Like, it is a joke, but I genuinely have to watch you.
Yeah, I am a flight risk. I will up and leave
Yeah.
without
warning. Really.
Without warning. which I've also gotten a lot better with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm managing my symptoms a lot better now, but I wasn't always
Like this.
safe,
Yeah.
I guess I should say. Um, Now, after my manic episodes, I get into this darkness phase. Because after I get out of manic, I go into my depressive mode. And it's just, my brain is very dark.
Yeah.
And my outlook on life is very gray and sad. And, you know, it causes me to have no motivation. Like, to the point where I can't even get up and brush my hair. I can't even get up and brush my teeth. I can't shower.
Yeah.
I barely even want to change my clothes. And I have no desire to eat or, you know, clean. Just basic things I need to do on a day-to-day basis. And it just... that I struggle with a lot. A lot. And I'm working on it. Like I said before, I am in therapy.
Woo!
I also have a psychiatrist who has prescribed medications, which we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Another one of my symptoms is obsessive thoughts. I start obsessing over the smallest things, like I need to go shopping, and then I will just replay that in my head over and over and over again until I mentally exhaust myself to the point where I can't think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have major depressive disorder, so I have had suicidal thoughts. And with that, I'm going to talk about my attempts.
Mm-hmm.
My first attempt was at the age of 12. I had a knife to my wrist.
Which, can we just, like, 11 and 12.
Yeah.
Babies.
Children.
Like, fetuses.
Can we talk about how I was diagnosed at the age of 6?
Yeah.
I barely have even lived. And I'm already so sad.
Yeah.
I was doomed from the start, basically. However, I'm making the best of my situation.
Yeah.
I'm still here. Thank God. Because if any of my attempts would have been successful, I don't know. I would have never met you.
Yeah. Oh, God. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
11 and 12, man.
Yeah. I was 12. I had a knife to my wrist. I was getting ready to push down. But I immediately started crying and I called my mom. And, you know, hearing how broken my mom sounded, like...
stopped you at that point.
Yeah. And then my mom went and had me admitted. And I was there for the first time for 2 weeks. And that's when I got diagnosed with the complex PTSD and anxiety and insomnia. The next time I was admitted into the behavior center in Fort Wayne, I was 17. I did not attempt at this time, but I looked at my mom and said, you know what? I'm really ready to die. And if anything is to happen to me,
you won't prevent it.
I'm not going to prevent it. I'm not going to stop it. So I'm ready to go.
That's a lot of how my suicidal tendencies are.
Yeah. It's scary if
like,
you think about it.
Like, hey, there's a car out there.
Just walk out.
Let's go. Yeah.
Let's just walk out.
Which is so, like,
scary.
Saying it out loud is what's, like, that's what's hard about this episode. Verbalizing these thoughts that we deal with every day, it almost feels, like, embarrassing. And it's not. It's not at all.
No, it's just symptoms of our mental health.
It's hard.
It is hard. It's definitely not something, you know, our families want to hear about, and they don't even want to think about it. My next suicide attempt, I was 20, which Kylie got the call.
Yeah, that one was hard.
I tried overdosing on this medication I'm taking. It's a sleeping medication, and I tried overdosing on it, and I had the pills all in my mouth, the entirety of
the bottle.
Of the bottle of my medication in my mouth, ready to swallow. But my ex-husband made me spit them out, and he immediately called Kylie.
Which, thank God, because
Yeah.
I've never driven so fast in my life. Ever.
I was ready to go.
I knew you had been. You'd been struggling with a lot of things at that point.
Yeah. Like, at that time, my mom and I were in a really bad place. My family, the majority of my family and I were not in a good place, and I was being verbally attacked.
Every day.
Yeah.
To the point where I am the least confrontational person, and I had to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
It got really bad, and that's why I knew that night, especially because of your ex-husband, I knew things were going to go wrong.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting and having my phone in my hand when I was laying down for bed. And I had pants at the edge of the bed ready to go with my car keys like on top of them. And I got that call and I was out the door. I didn't even get to tell my grandparents, because it was probably like 10 or 11 at night.
It was 11 at night.
And like my grandpa he used to sleep on the couch right in front of the front door.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Where are you going?" And I just said, "Brittany's," and I ran out the door.
Yeah. At this time, I had found out that my ex-husband had had an affair on me, along with all of my family issues.
Yeah.
It
broke you.
I was broken. Very much so, and I was ready to end it. I was ready to go.
Unfortunately, your best friend was not ready for you to go, so, sorry.
And then I tried to attempt again a year later, at 21. I tried overdosing again.
Unfortunately, I was not there for that one.
Kylie was not there for that one.
Nobody really was.
No, I was basically on my own, besides my ex-husband. And my ex-husband at this time had been checking out of our relationship.
Yeah.
And, I had the pills in my hand, ready to take them. And then that moment came through where I just broke down and thought about my mom.
Yeah.
Even though, my mom and I weren't in the best position. My mom may struggle with drug addiction, but I'm still her child. She's still going to care.
She's still your mom, yeah.
So I put the pills down, and I went and checked myself into the same behavior center in Fort Wayne. Yeah. But I started self-harming when I was 13. My self-harm is cutting. Cutting is it's like my go-to. And as morbid as that is to say, it's where I feel the most release.
Yeah. Self-harm was never about release for me, which is the weird thing. It was control.
Yeah, release.
I could
control the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was able to, well, not only that, I was able to inflict the pain. Mm-hmm. It was me doing it, not anybody else.
Yeah, you were in control of what you felt. The last time I self-harm, I was 21 years old. Yeah. Yeah, I've been 2 years clean.
Almost 3.
Yeah, almost 3, going on 3. But, yeah, there's that. Moving on.
And we're not going to spend time on that.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into that. Another one of my symptoms is an overly active imagination. I don't know if that's a part of my mental illness or if that's just me, but I'm constantly imagining different situations.
Right.
And it's mentally taxing. I always feel exhausted because, it ties into my obsessive thoughts. It's always
everything
boom,
is on
boom,
your brain.
Boom. And then, as I've said before, I dissociate a lot. To the point where I have dissociated for a solid 2 minutes. And Kylie was the one to bring me out of that one.
Yeah.
Another one, which we've kind of touched base on, is sensory overload. Which when I'm overloaded in my senses, I can start pacing.
Yep.
And my hands start to wiggle. And I start getting angry. I get, agitated. I get irritable.
Yeah.
And the sensory overload can actually send me very quickly into a panic attack.
Yeah.
My panic attacks consist of heart palpitations, uneven breathing, difficulty breathing, just fits of rage.
Yeah.
I even go into fits of rage when I have panic attacks, which, if anyone, people who know me know that I am not a violent person.
Yeah.
I am not one to cause harm, and I am not one to be, angry. I'm pretty calm, cool, and collected.
Right.
Until I get into,
situations where you are not.
Right. And just, it gets hard. It gets hard because that's the one I'm really affected by and I'm still struggling to cope with.
Yes.
And, I don't know how to fix that. I don't know.
Yeah.
The best way to avoid being sent into that situation. Because as we all know, life gets really hard. And responsibilities can feel like they're too much at times. And I feel like that's when I get into a lot of my sensory overload and start to panic.
Yes.
Another one of my symptoms is nightmares. I have nightmares. Now that I'm on a different medication, I have nightmares maybe twice a week.
Right.
So they're getting better, but I still have nightmares, and that ties in with my PTSD. I have a lot of things that I dream about, a lot of the traumatic events that have happened in my life. It nightmares. Yeah. I also get restlessness. With restlessness, it kind of almost ties into my manic episodes because I constantly feel like I need to be doing something.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go into sensory overload because I'm just obsessing. And my brain just cannot process that. It cannot function unless I'm doing something.
Yeah.
I've touched base on this, but I get hypersexual. And that is mainly when I'm in a manic. Like I said, I have to constantly be doing something, and if that even means sex, I'm gonna have sex.
Yeah.
I gotta do it. Because then I'll start obsessing about it. Another symptom, which I don't know where this one comes from. I'm pretty sure my psychiatrist said it's a part of bipolar, but paranoia.
Oh, yeah.
Paranoia.
I didn't mention that, but all the time.
I get to the point where I think people are out to get me. And, I'll be driving home from work, and there's this car that's been following me for a while, and I'm thinking, oh, shit, this person's out to get me.
But in all reality, you're just on a long highway.
Right. Right.
100%. It's horrible. That is the most taxing for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm constantly, walking on the sidewalk, and somebody's walking their dog, and I'm like, they've trained their dog to come and bite me
the
and
paranoia,
take me
something's always going to happen.
Yes.
Maybe that ties into anxiety, too. We constantly think there's something bad that's going to happen. Basically, those are all my symptoms. I've already touched base on, the pacing and wiggling hands. That all goes into my sensory overload. And I'm not going to self-diagnose, but maybe... autism runs in my family, and they have sensory disorders. I know.
Are you, honey?
Do I think I'm autistic? No. Do I think I could be on the spectrum? Quite possibly.
Yeah.
It runs in my bloodline.
The face that you made, you were like looking at me for approval. You can say what you feel.
I just didn't want to overstep boundaries.
Oh, honey.
Or maybe, I have ADHD because my brothers have ADHD.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm an undiagnosed ADHD because actually I've read this statistic before and I can't quite pinpoint the source, but women go undiagnosed with ADHD more often than men.
Well, yeah. That doesn't shock me either.
So maybe that's one I need to, talk to my psychiatrist about and figure out, because that could be where my sensory overload comes from.
Right.
But yeah.
All right. So that was our symptoms of... Oh, God, there was a lot of them. But the sad thing is that's not even all of them. Like, we deal with everything
I'm sure
all the
there's
time.
more. We just can't think of them right now.
So I'm gonna... Because Brittany didn't really... I mean, you technically do with smoking, but drug and alcohol dependency was kind of an issue for me. It was an issue for me. I never got into hard drugs, obviously, but I started smoking when I was about 13, and...
I started smoking when I was 16.
Yeah. Well, cigarettes. I started smoking cigarettes when I was about 13.
Oh, no. I didn't start smoking cigarettes until I was 18. I have quit. I'm vaping now. But I started smoking marijuana at the age of 16.
See, I started smoking cigarettes at 13, and around probably 14, actually, I started smoking weed. It all started with one cigarette behind a school, because a friend of mine that was older said, "Oh yeah, it'll help you calm down."
Yeah.
And at that rate, when Mac Miller said, "I'll do anything for a way out of my head,"
Yeah.
that was my thought process every day.
Yeah.
I just want it to stop because I didn't understand what was going on. And so she gave me a cigarette, and then the next day gave me another one, and then I got to the point where
You needed them
I
all
needed
the time.
a pack.
Yeah.
And then 2 packs, and then it went to weed. And I love marijuana.
I also love marijuana.
I think that it is such a healthy coping mechanism, much better than alcohol and other drugs.
Yeah.
I love marijuana. Do I smoke anymore? No. Just because it's not legal.
No.
And I'm an adult. And I don't really have the time to do it per se. But I love marijuana.
Yeah.
I have quit smoking cigarettes, thankfully. Over the past couple days, I've really not smoked at all. I have a Juul and I have a vape, but I really haven't been smoking all that often. And then probably around 16, when I moved to Indiana, is when I developed a little bit of a drinking problem.
Mm-hmm. What else is there to do in Indiana?
Yeah. Well, mentally, I wasn't doing great. When I had first moved here, I had moved from Chelsea, and that was awful, living there. I mean, I brought a lot of it on myself, but it didn't negate the fact that people were mean.
Mm-hmm.
They were mean, and they
don't
said,
care what you...
Yeah.
Like, there are people out there that don't care what you're going through. They're just
Yeah.
going to make your life a living hell.
These friends that I had were the people that dragged me down.
Mm-hmm.
They...
Which is why
pressured me
it's so
into-
important to be around people who are positive
Yes.
and are a good influence on your life and
Yes.
support you through these hard times.
But yeah, that's pretty much... I dabbled into other drugs. I never was addicted to any other drugs. Drugs...
You tried.
Yeah.
You tried them.
But cigarettes and alcohol were my 2 dependencies, and I used them to cope. And Up until probably about 21 is when I used both pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Especially in California, which...
Well, I know when I was 19, I was a freshman in college. That's when, I was really in a downward spiral.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I was, an alcoholic, but I was constantly having reckless behavior.
Yeah.
And I was constantly intoxicated. Like, I'm not proud to admit this, but I have drank and drive.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't care.
Well, I feel like at some points you did it just to feel something.
Yeah.
Which was the point in time when I was the most worried about you.
Yeah, I was a mess, especially when I was 19.
And I wasn't even here.
Yeah.
I just remember we were both doing really bad, and you coming to California is ultimately what saved me from that. Because I was, sorry again, Mom and JJ, I was drunk or high every day.
Mm-hmm.
People at my college would get me high, send me home. I would drink wine, whatever.
I remember all the
just to-
FaceTime calls. You would be under the influence.
Just to get myself through my brain.
Well, at that point, you only had your mom and JJ. You didn't have your closest friends there with you.
And I didn't really go out of my way to make other friends.
Right. So I can understand why that would have been hard. Like, I wouldn't have survived. It killed me to know that you were on the other side of the country and I couldn't just come over and see you.
It was awful.
But I would go and spend the night at Granny's just to, feel your presence and be around your family. So.
Yeah, that's kind of our little segment on drugs and alcohol dependency and things of that nature. Obviously, neither of us really went down any heavy paths, but I feel like it is something that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
First of all, cigarettes are
extremely unhealthy.
Horrible, so much so. And I am in no place to judge because there's a reason my voice sounds like this. I've been smoking a pack a day for fucking a decade. Like,
oh my gosh.
That's so embarrassing to me. And it's something that needs to be talked about.
But it's something you've learned from, Well, I think that's really what you need to keep in mind.
Yes.
You learned from it. And you're trying to do better now. Yeah. And that's what matters. And I'm proud of you for quitting smoking because I know how hard it was.
Yeah, it was rough.
Even to this day, it's still hard for you. And you haven't done it in like 2 months.
Yeah.
So you're doing really well, and I want you to remember that.
Thank you.
The next thing we're going to talk about are antidepressants, like medications.
Yeah. Let's just preface, completely opposite spectrums.
Yes.
Because I am so against, I guess I'm not against it, they just didn't work for me. I do not take any medications. I quit going to therapy. And should I just go into mine real quick and then because mine will be short.
Go ahead.
So one of the only medications I remember taking was fluoxetine, which is Prozac. I was a zombie. I never wanted to do anything. Along with the other medications I was on, which again, memory loss, I don't remember. I was not myself. And I was sick all the time. I was tired, like, just not me. So I swore off medications. I don't go to the doctor. That's the Wallen in me, though. I'm stubborn. That's how I am. I also don't go to therapy because my therapist abandoned me. She didn't really. So when I started going to therapy, again, I have severe separation anxiety, adult separation anxiety now. And my therapist, when I started going to her, was pregnant. So obviously, she had to have the baby and be with the baby. So she left and gave me to somebody else. No. I transferred therapists and I quit going because I felt abandoned. I felt like, what did I do to make her leave me?
Well, you built a trust with her and,
This woman was the best person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
She just had a baby and made me real sad. So that's me. I don't take medications. I deal with it head on, which I'm not saying people that take medications are, weak or anything like that. I'm just saying it didn't work for me. I don't feel comfortable on them.
That's raw dog in this bitch called life.
My life. So Brittany, tell me about your list.
Woohoo! I have been on several medications. I can't even remember some of them when I was younger.
Right.
So I can't really tell you what I've taken.
Story of my life.
Past 3 years ago. I know, I've taken Effexor. I've taken Buspirone, Vraylar, Abilify, Trazodone, and I'm just going to say Effexor is probably one of the worst medications I've ever been on in my life.
For you, yeah.
It does not work for me, and it honestly, it makes my fits of rage worse.
Yeah.
It worsens my nightmares. It worsens my restlessness. My agitation and irritability was to a level to the point I was making everyone around me miserable.
Yeah, you sucked.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No. I did. 100%.
No, it was sad to see you like that. And
I was I was like a recluse. I was just cornering myself and, distancing myself from everybody.
Well, to be honest, this was Johnny's first time seeing you on this. This is my second time seeing you on this medication.
Yeah. Because I have a doctor who doesn't really want to listen to me, and
unfortunately that's what happens sometimes. The first time it was the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Angry and didn't want to do anything.
I'm very combative and I want to argue with people.
The only time that we argue is when you are on Effexor.
Yeah. Genuinely. Yeah. So I am finally off the Effexor.
Woo!
So,
sorry, RIP headphone users. I'm just excited.
I'm off the Effexor now. I can't take Vraylar because Vraylar made me like a zombie, and it made me very, very, very tired to the point I couldn't function, and I would even drool.
Yeah.
I also had involuntary muscle movements with Vraylar. I was twitching. I couldn't control my body movements.
Even going down the stairs, you were jittering down the stairs.
Vraylar was very bad. And Vraylar is a newer medication that they use to treat bipolar.
Yes.
And it was not a good medication for me at all.
Okay, you might get some ASMR from this. Hold on.
Anyway, I obviously was trying to get off the Effexor with my doctor, and my doctor was like, we're gonna try Abilify on top of the Effexor, and I was really upset.
Yeah, it made me very upset as well.
Because I was like, why aren't you listening to me? I want off this medication. Yeah. I'm telling you all the bad symptoms I'm having, and you're keeping me on it. But at this time, this is when my doctor was finally like, I'm going to refer you to a psychiatrist and a therapist. So, which is why I am now in therapy and I now have a psychiatrist. I am still taking Trazodone and Buspirone. Trazodone treats my insomnia. That is the sleeping medication I'm currently on. And to be quite frank, it is also the medication I've tried to overdose on. But I have a safety plan in place if I get those urges. Kylie is a part of that safety plan.
Which we definitely need to re-go over that because, again, memory loss. And I think it's really...
Which I have all the paperwork on the coffee table right now. We will go over that safety plan.
That's one thing that it's very important. If you have a safety plan in place and there are other individuals embedded into that, please go over that with those people. Yeah. Sometimes it's just not on the brain. We all go through a lot every day. Sorry, I just had to take a bottle for my dog and I'm out of breath. But it's so important to remind people of your safety plan.
Right.
We want to help. We want to be there and be a part of it. Just remind us.
Yeah. Buspirone, that is my anxiety medication. That is what I take to help with my anxiety, which it's working.
Yeah.
It helps. Is it perfect? No, it's not going to be.
Yeah.
But is it helping? Yes. But with my psychiatrist, gave her the list of medications I was taking, and she was
like, what the
she
fuck?
was horrified. She's like, yeah, these are not good medications. So my psychiatrist actually prescribed me Latuda. And Latuda is used to treat bipolar disorder and schizophrenia.
Yeah.
So, and I just want to say, Latuda is probably the best medication I've been on.
For you, yeah.
For me. It is helped me so much. It has minimized my nightmares. It makes me in a better mood. I'm good. I'm doing really well on this medication, and I don't feel like I did when I was on Effexor, Vraylar, and Abilify. So,
Sorry.
yeah.
My dog was sitting right behind me and I didn't realize it. Okay. Yeah.
We're on to coping mechanisms now.
So let's start off with personal.
Okay. You go first.
Okay. One of my biggest ones is I feel like getting in touch with my sad side helps me. So, I will turn on some sad music, put on some sad jams, and cry. I let a good cry out. One thing that helps with my anxiety and most importantly, my dissociative disorder. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name. I'll repeat my name or colors or numbers or words. Just kind of like find something to focus on, and I'll go with that. I know that not a lot of people are into it. ASMR really, really helps me.
Nah, it overloads my sensory. I can't.
See, it has the exact opposite effect on me.
I do like soap cutting videos, though.
That's a form of ASMR.
I guess it just depends on the
Yeah.
form of ASMR. But it's like the crunching and the chewing and...
Oh, I don't listen to all that.
Oh,
Girl,
my
what you talking
Lord.
about? I'm talking about, like, tapping.
No, I can't handle that either.
Oh, I love it.
No,
It calms me. It puts me to sleep.
Can't listen to the tapping. Can't listen to the breaking, the crunching of, like, teeth.
Oh.
Crunching like food.
Oh,
like
yeah,
I
no.
watched one where this woman was literally chewing on aloe vera, and I was like, oh
Ew.
my god.
No, I don't listen
No.
to any of that. No offense to anybody that does, but no. I listen to like tapping and fast and aggressive tapping and things like that. Another thing I do is I wear a lot of rings, and I will push them into my hand and like clench them and clack them and move them around, and that kind of helps me focus on things other than my brain. Cooking and cleaning is a big one for me. If I am really bad, give me a messy room because I will tackle that bitch. Like, I love it.
It's almost like a control thing.
Yeah. I like seeing the progress that I've made. Like, the room is nasty, disgusting, whatever, and then I come through it like a fucking tornado with some Lysol, and it's beautiful. And then my family is my biggest. Friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I really rely heavily on, and, ultimately they save me. So, that's mine. I can't really think of it. Music. Music is another one of my biggest ones. Bands like One Direction and the Vamps and Five Sauce and Mac Miller, everyone knows, is my saving grace. Mm-hmm. He got me through a lot of my younger depressive episodes, and Mac Miller is the best. So,
I had Eminem. Probably not the best.
Girl, that's all right.
But you know what? It got out a lot of anger and frustration in me,
Yeah.
so...
But, yeah, that's pretty much mine. So, tell me about yours.
Mine, well, music obviously is a big one. Everyone knows I'm a singer. I love to sing.
Yep.
I love to listen to music. Music is basically the majority of my life.
Yeah.
I have always enjoyed music since I was like a baby. It just music always. Writing. I love to write. Whether that be in my journal, whether I'm writing fan fiction,
Woo!
or poetry. I've dabbled into poetry. Am I the best? No. But I really enjoy writing, and that's what I was going to college for.
Mm-hmm.
I was going for writing, because I enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
Reading is a big one. Everyone knows I love to read.
Yep.
If you have any book suggestions, let me know.
Yeah.
So, excuse me.
She got too excited about reading.
I love reading. Reading is a way to escape my mind, because
Yep.
I'm so enveloped in the book.
Right.
I'm not able to think about the negatives of my mental illness.
Right.
As I've said multiple times, I am in therapy now. I have therapy every Monday at noon.
Oh, hey, I forgot a coping mechanism, and I know it's one for you too.
What?
Marijuana.
Yeah. Animals.
Mm-hmm.
I love animals. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to like volunteer and stuff like that, because my mental health is very taxing, and with all the responsibilities I have to face on a daily basis, with having to go to work and having to maintain a household with 4 other people, it's tiring. And the days I do have free, I need to recoup.
Yeah.
But I do love animals. I love watching videos of animals. I love cats. Like, I have
our animals.
Yeah. I have 2 cats of my own, but I have my friends' animals as well to love on. I love them.
Yes.
Driving. I love to go for drives, whether I'm driving or not. And you just blast some music on the radio and not talk to me.
Yep.
Driving. I am fine with that. That is a big one. I'm also a flight risk, so we gotta be careful. Usually I take someone with me.
Yes.
And it's usually Kylie. Sorry, Kylie.
Well, no, I mean, that's one of mine as well.
Yeah.
I don't drive. I have PTSD from a very bad car wreck that I was in, so I don't drive. But I do love going on car rides.
Yeah.
So.
Talking with Kylie and my boyfriend and my uncle and my brothers, that's just something I enjoy doing.
Yes.
And it's something I can use.
It takes your mind off
Right.
of things.
Like, I've gotten really close with my uncle within these last 2 years, because, I lived with the man, but he helped me through one of the hardest times of my life, and he got me back on my feet. So my uncle is really someone I've built a bond with. So, he doesn't have his collar on. What the hell are you doing?
Yes, I know.
Any whore. Yeah, just talking with my trusted support group is very it helps me a lot. Shopping.
Not necessarily a healthy coping mechanism for you,
No,
but
because I do have impulse shopping.
control issues.
Yeah. I try, and I am getting better.
Yeah. But it does help you.
It does help.
That's the thing.
Going out.
In moderation.
In moderation.
That's just what we're working on.
Yeah.
Moderation.
Yeah. Marijuana.
Yeah.
I love marijuana. I feel like it should be available to everyone recreationally.
Truth. Of age.
Of age.
I do think
Of age.
Of age is important.
Anyone of age.
Yes.
Whether that be 18 or 21.
Yep.
I think it should be available to those, because it
helps.
It helps.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Maybe that can be a whole nother podcast, but...
Traveling. I love to travel. Like, I know when I was in that really bad spot mentally when I was 19, I flew out to California to be with Kylie.
Yep.
And I was there for 2 weeks, and I felt really good.
Yeah.
And then recently I went to Nashville for Valentine's Day. My boyfriend took me to Nashville, and You know, it was really nice. It was really nice to get away from home and
Safely, obviously.
Yeah,
Masks were worn.
Yeah.
You guys were...
Yeah, we also had our first vaccine.
Yeah.
We're fully vaccinated now, but we followed the rules. Another one of my big coping mechanisms, which probably sounds really weird, is TikTok.
Yeah.
I love TikTok. There are people on there that are going through similar experiences that I am. Also, the comedy is just fucking amazing on TikTok. Seeing people and, having that serotonin from, like...
other people.
Yeah, it's nice. So TikTok is something I use to distract myself. YouTube. I watch a lot of gameplay throughs. Mainly Markiplier and PewDiePie. Those are my favorite YouTubers. I do dabble into Jacksepticeye. I also watch true crime videos, which is probably not good, but I do enjoy true crime videos. That chapter. I also like Ask a Mortician, which these are YouTubers my boyfriend has gotten me into, but they are nice. They are a nice distraction.
Yeah.
Deep breathing. I have to remind myself to take a deep breath. That is one I probably do at least once a day. Just taking a deep breath, it helps in reminding myself, like, it's gonna be okay. Like, talking to myself really helps too.
Right.
Like, verbally redirecting myself, whether that be out loud or in my head, it helps.
Yeah.
So, those are my coping mechanisms.
I love it. Along with coping mechanisms, I feel like self-care, when you're in that depressive state, doing anything is hard. And I always, when I am pulling myself out of it, and I mean digging through the dirt to get back up to the surface, I make sure to do these things, and I start to feel a little better. I re-bring them back into my routine, and I start doing them again, and I feel better. So we're going to talk about some self-care. Brittany and I really have similar self-care. These are things that we struggle to do with, or these are things that we struggle to do when we are
in that depressive state.
In the dark state, as Brittany puts it.
The darkness.
So, brushing our hair. I can't tell you how many times I've texted my mom and just been like, I brushed my hair today. And she, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Good job. Because she knows sometimes you just can't do it.
Right.
Brushing my teeth. Yeah, it's gross. But people struggle with it more than you would think.
Especially those who suffer with depression.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's very hard for them to actually get up and, maintain that self-care.
Yeah. Ladies, men, I know that you relate anyway, but shaving my legs. If I shave my legs, I know that I'm doing better. Because them bitches can get fuzzy.
I can't relate with that one. Whether I shave or not is completely up to me. Usually I do it because it starts to irritate me.
See, mine doesn't irritate me. I just...
No, like when I lay with my legs together when I'm wearing shorts, like to bed.
And you like feel the fuzz.
Well, my leg hair will start to like poke on my other leg.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like, okay. And it overloads my sensory. And that's when I'm like, all right, I'm going to shave tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, I don't give a fuck what society says. If I don't want to shave, I'm not going to.
True.
You can deal with my body hair. I'm a woman. I have body hair just like men. It's natural.
Well, for me, it's more of like that control thing again. Like, if I can go shave my legs, I know that I can go outside today.
Yeah.
I know that I can walk downstairs. I can leave my room. I can do these things because, look, I got the hard part out of the way. I shaved my fucking leg. Like, my fat ass hates shaving my legs. But if I do it, I know I'm all right. And then showering. I left my bed to go shower. I know that that's self-care, and I love myself because I did it. And yeah, it might seem gross, but I struggle with it. I struggle leaving my bedroom when I am sad and when I am in that state. So that's my self-care. Do you have anything else to add?
Starbucks. I've been getting myself a lot of like refresher drinks. Not coffee,
Right.
because coffee.
Yeah.
I loved iced coffee, don't get me wrong, but I've been trying, the fruit, the colors of these drinks that I get, like the pink drink and the star drink. They're very beautiful colors, and they bring a little sense of, dopamine.
Happiness? Yeah.
So, I've been doing that a lot lately. Sometimes I'll go get my nails done.
Yeah.
That's very rare, though, because I am not girly, and
We get tired of them 2 days after we get them on.
yeah. I'll get my hair cut.
I haven't done that in a hot
Well,
minute.
I'm now at a point where I want my hair to grow out, so I'm stopping. I haven't dyed my hair. I haven't.
Using less
Yeah.
heat. Yeah.
I have been taking care of my hair so it can grow, but sometimes I'll,
Right.
up and get a haircut.
Can you think of anything else? I can't.
I think that's it. I think that's. We probably need to look into more self-care.
Using more of that. Yeah.
But.
We can move on to foods.
Yeah.
This was something that I wanted to talk about more of, but there haven't been many studies. Honestly, they all said the same thing. So I went to healthprep.com/depression. That's just what it's called. I didn't look that up or anything. And they have a study on foods that can trigger depression symptoms. I don't know how true it is, but we're going to go through them just for fun and say whether we agree with them, what we think about it. Yeah. So, number 1, margarine, butter.
I love butter.
I love me some butter.
I don't. It could be true. These
but
are probably true, but like we're at a point where we're so used to suffering,
Yeah.
we don't care.
1 second. I realized butter was number 6, not number 1.
Oh.
It, for some reason, went ahead. Okay. Caffeine. Yup. For me, caffeine attacks my heart. I get anxious.
Caffeine is the only thing keeping me alive. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, I love caffeine, but I definitely feel myself very anxious.
If I don't have caffeine, I get migraines. I have to have it daily.
I get very anxious. I won't say that it so much triggers my depression, but my anxiety, it hits. Okay. Alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
We've watched it happen to many people, friends and family.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I can't even stomach alcohol that much anymore.
No.
It's really hard. I prefer the marijuana.
Yeah. Well, I mean, alcohol is a depressant.
Yeah.
You literally read it on the bottle.
Yeah.
It attacks your serotonin. So, artificial sweeteners and MSG. Now, I am not going to lie to you. I don't know what MSG is.
MSG is in a lot of like Asian foods.
Monosodium glutamate?
It's in a lot of Asian foods, which I love Asian food.
I do
so,
too.
I don't really care about that one.
Yeah,
I don't know if that would trigger my depression.
I have no idea. I guess
Maybe this is like an eye opener to what we can
we'll
keep
have
track
to do some
of.
more research on
Yeah.
that. Processed foods.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that
I
one.
could see it, yeah. I guess again, these are things that I never think of.
I broke the chair. I broke my chair.
Be careful.
Oh my god.
What just
I broke my
happened?
chair.
Oh, the legs just came out. Our table is really old, and so is our chairs, and they just
God.
just grab a different chair. We'll fix it afterwards.
That is in my asshole.
Okay, first podcast was Johnny saying anus. This one is you saying asshole.
Okay, but it's my podcast.
That's true. All right. Refined sugar. I don't... See, some of these, like...
I don't know how accurate this article is.
Yeah. It says...
But some of them make sense, though.
Candy, sweets, cookies, donuts. Look, all that shit makes me happier. I don't know if that's just the fat kid in me or what, but I love
it.
me
Could
some
quite
sugar.
possibly.
It says it's because blood sugar levels drop a short time later as these foods...
Well, yeah, because sugars, you know...
that does make sense,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Okay, I get it. I can agree with that one. We already talked about butter, my bad.
Margarine.
Yeah. Agave nectar, which is a more recently popular thing.
I've never.
I don't think I've ever had it either. It's used as a healthier option of high fructose corn syrup. So maybe we have had it, we just don't know.
Maybe.
But it has been shown to increase the risk of metabolic syndrome, which causes high blood pressure, insulin resistance, and obesity.
Oh.
Okay. Interesting.
Obesity.
Obesity. Foods that contain GMOs.
I can kind of see that, though,
I can see
because
this
the chemicals and
Yep.
stuff that they put into foods.
Mm-hmm.
That does make sense.
Oh, yeah. Fruit juice. This one's hard for both of us because
Yeah,
we
I'm fucking pissed.
love our fruit juice.
I'm pissed. I love apple juice. I love orange juice. I love pineapple, banana, orange juice. I love juice.
Although fruit itself is full of fiber, various nutrients, and slows down how the blood takes in energy, many fruit juices contain secret ingredients. Interesting. It says eat whole fruit and drink water separately. But do not combine the two and chug a glass of fruit juice.
Shut your mouth.
We don't do it because we're already sad. Carbonated drinks. Yeah, I could see that one.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, I don't
Probably-
drink them as often
I don't
anymore.
either. They say that diet soda is not a better choice either, which I agree
No,
with.
it's actually can
think
be
it's-
quite worse.
I know that dyes, like red dye, brown dye, they can really attack your mental health. So I can believe it. Gluten products.
That means pasta, ladies and gentlemen.
Pastas. Yeah.
I love pasta.
I love pasta and I love bread, so reading this is not fun for
It's
me.
real sad.
Gluten can further cause inflammation and interfere with digestion by clumping food particles together. Ew.
That's
Due to its stickiness.
Ugh.
Gluten has been... Oh! Whoa! Gluten has also been connected to depression, seizures, headaches, anxiety, and nerve damage.
Stop putting that in our food.
But I still love pasta. Condiments. This one breaks my heart because, girl, I love ketchup, ranch, mustard, honey mustard. Oh, I love it all. That's why I'm fat. Yeah. Condiments. Soy sauce contains gluten? What?
Yes.
I didn't... Oh, clearly I don't pay attention to anything.
Do you eat Asian foods?
Not as much as I... I love Asian food, but I just...
I love it.
I do a lot of home-cooked meals, and...
Not me.
Asian food is not one of them. Oh, here's one that Gabe is very used to. Vegetable oils.
Oh, hell no.
Vegetable oils. Sunflower, corn, soybean, canola, and safflower oil. I don't know what that is.
Huh. Well.
Essentially, our bodies do not recognize vegetable oils, especially when they are heated and distorted, causing an unfathomable amount of inflammation with the body, which can lead to depression. The more you know. I've never heard that. Ooh, fast food. Girl.
I love fast food.
This one is directed towards you.
It's basically what I survive on.
Some studies indicate certain nutrients may help prevent it, including omega-3 fatty acids, olive oil. I thought our bodies didn't like vegetable oils.
They don't, I guess.
Whatever.
What do I know?
Yeah. I don't know if, this article might be a fat load of shit. But we gonna go through it just for fun. Food's high in sodium. Yeah. Yep.
I love salt.
I love salt as well, but yeah. Binge eating anything. Yeah.
Yeah, that can be unhealthy. And it can lead to body image issues, which
Yes.
can worsen your depression. So yeah, that definitely makes sense. So.
Okay. I guess it's over now. That was it.
Yeah.
Welcome back. All right. So, in the comments, how did you guys feel about that? I don't know that I believe it necessarily, all of them. I do believe some of them, but I don't know about that one.
Some of them definitely are understandable. Others, like,
GMOs.
kinda
What?
kinda pointless.
Yeah. All right. So, that brings us to the end of episode 2. We're going to close off today, this episode.
Yeah.
With some words from the viewers, listeners. You guys, I put a little ad out on Facebook, if you'll say, and said, hey, who wants to help with a segment of the podcast? And I actually got quite a few of the listeners to be like, yeah, me. So we asked some of the listeners what coping mechanisms they used. And hey, surprise, number 1 is marijuana. I got this so many times, and I don't know if it's just the people I'm friends with, but all of us love marijuana. It's great. Another one is talking to people close to them, which, again, I relate with. Tobacco/nicotine. I got that one more than I thought I would. But I could see it. I used it.
We survive on caffeine and nicotine.
I used it for a long time. I'm going to call my boyfriend out on this one because this was him and I think it's so funny. Being left alone. So true for him. And it honestly, sometimes you just need some alone time.
Yeah, you just need some solitude to get your thoughts in order and to, really process what you're feeling.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. It makes sense.
Another friend said video games.
Yeah.
This one made my heart happy, and thank you. We're not saying any names, but I want to publicly say thank you because this made me very proud. Somebody said music and podcasts, and they called our podcast out. They said that listening to last week's episode made them so happy.
Aww.
And I was like, oh man, my heart is so full.
That's really the goal of our podcast,
Yes.
though. We want to be there for you guys, and we want you to show that, hey, we go through these things, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And, hey, we want to talk about these things, and we want you to be involved.
Just being able to relate with you guys.
We want to be there.
Yes. Another one was makeup. I relate. I'm a makeup artist. I love it. Focusing on things.
Everything I know about makeup is because of Kylie. So I don't really wear makeup. I go all natural. It's just my
recently
preferred.
I have as well.
Yeah. It's just, it makes me feel good to be all natural. Mm-hmm. And I don't have to put as much effort into it.
Right. You could just walk out the house.
Excuse me.
You're good. Focusing on things. Yep.
I feel like my boyfriend does that a lot.
Yes.
Johnny definitely does that a lot.
Being in the moment. This is one that I use quite often. I'm a very in the moment person. I don't like to, mostly because I can't remember the past.
Well, see, once I, start spiraling, I can't be in the moment. It's very hard.
Yeah. I get it. That's, yeah. Counting things, breathing. This one tickled my fancy. Cuss words. People use cuss words as a coping mechanism.
Why not?
I like it. I notice myself saying like fuck, 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 or shit, shit, shit. And it makes me feel better.
Just screaming.
Yeah.
Screaming. Whether that be in a pillow or you're screaming at the wall.
Yeah.
Don't scream at people.
Yeah. But unless they deserve it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Be nice. Everybody treat people with kindness. Food.
You just got to be
might
careful
not be a
with that.
healthy mechanism, but it could be a coping mechanism. I could see.
Maybe making food.
Yeah.
That could be a good one. However, you gotta monitor
Yes.
your coping mechanisms because it can go from healthy to unhealthy so
Real
quickly.
quick. Pets, which
Yes.
we both use.
Yes.
I love. Physical touch. This one, I didn't really notice that I did use this until the friend of mine that said it. And I was like, that's so smart. Because I use that. I don't notice that I use it, but even like somebody coming and patting me on the back and like, you're okay, that helps a lot.
No.
Depending on the person.
I hate that.
Oh, I love that.
Physical touch is hard for me to accept. And unfortunately, my boyfriend's love language is physical touch.
Yeah.
So I have to, kind of get out of my head and let him do it because I want him to feel loved and appreciated. And I don't like being touched, and I don't really like doing a lot of physical touching. I don't know why. It's just the way I am. But I'm very loving with my words.
Yes.
With my words. I also love giving gifts. I love giving gifts. Words of affirmation, like, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for doing this. Like, just general statements of that nature. Just, that is how I show love and appreciation for people.
Yes.
Physical touch is not it, though.
So I just looked at the clock and we're at an hour and a half. So I'm going to fucking speed through the rest of these and then we'll close out. So physical touch, praying, working out / the gym, thinking of things they appreciate, listing 3 things they're grateful for at the beginning of their day, and square breathing, which is breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, rest for 4 seconds, and then start again.
Repeat.
Yes. I am so appreciative for each and every one of you that has been supporting us.
Yes, absolutely.
We thought that the love on our first video was great. I am shocked at what we got on our last video. It's been so beautiful to see.
It's so surreal to have your guys' support, and like, we can't say thank you enough.
No.
We really can't.
Every episode is a ride, and we still love doing this, which is something we were scared we were gonna get burnt out on it, but we love it. We love getting to talk with you guys, and
we're in our element.
Yes.
That's for sure.
And I mean, you guys are getting some long episodes, so hopefully you enjoy. Thank you for the support, and that's all for me. You got anything you want to say?
Just thank you. A million times thank you. We can't express our gratitude to you guys.
Yes.
So, and we look forward to discussing more with you.
Yes.
So, look out. Every Monday, we'll have a podcast up, so.
Lastly, make sure your friends are okay today. Make sure that, check on your strong friends, check on your family, check on your friends. That's it for me. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.